Wishing everyone a happy new year. Hopefully, you've created, I'm creating a sacred space this year. I've decided to consciously make my practice a prayer, make every breath a prayer to discover um, lightness within me or the divinity within me. So that's my inspiration this year. Yeah, to make my practice sacred. So with that, let's begin. Maybe for some of you, it's your first class with me today, possibly. So let's keep all possibilities open. The past year was the past year. Let's arrive and meet this person this year. And one thing also to permit future to happen, let today happen and be curious about what today is going to bring you and what tomorrow is going to bring you. So that's what most of what I'm teaching about in embodied practice. It's not about movement, it's not about range, it's not only about movement, or it's not only about range, it's not only about moving better, but it's about being aware of awareness, right? So let's begin from a seated position, and we're going to use our fingers as, as curious tentacles to feel and sense various parts of the body, or what I call as meeting the body through the fingers. So it's a very interesting way of how we use the body to get back to the body, right? We're using the fingers in a part of the body to arrive at the body. Otherwise, we are quite possibly caught up in our head, and we tend to live in our head. So for a while, let's come to a seated, cross-leg seated position, preferably sitting slightly higher to assist our hips. You sit high not only to keep the spine tall, but to also permit the hips to have some amount of movability. Yeah. From there, let's close your eyes for a while and listen. Where am I today? What's happening around me? The sound of the world, the temperature of the world around me. And possibly we're getting all this information through our skin in various parts of our body. Could be that your fingers are sensing more of the temperature, or could be the head, or could be any part of your body. For me, it's the fingers. And to know that I'm sitting here to begin the practice of embodying and creating awareness. From there, let's take our fingers and feel the head. And it's not about just randomly rushing through your body parts, but when your fingers are touching that part of your head, can you arrive along with your fingers and feel the information about your head coming through your fingers into your mind space? I'm touching the back of my head, any part of your face, and going down into my shoulders. Also notice if you are possibly rushing, might help to slow down. And if you slow down, what kind of feedback do you get when you slow down? Feeling my hands, my fingers and thumb. Let's feel one side of the chest. Do this with your eyes closed. Maybe even the back body. And moving to the opposite side of the chest and the back. You might also bypass certain parts of the body, and that's fine. I'm going into my hips before going into the legs. Feeling one leg, the thigh. Scanning down through the lower part of my legs and feet, through my fingers. Let's try. And moving into the opposite side. Working myself up now, back into the chest. Into my shoulders, possibly into my neck and my head. From there, I lower my arms onto my knees. And I move into feeling the breath, breathing. And I'm keeping my mouth slightly open so that I can breathe in through my nose and breathe out through my mouth. Continue and be curious about your breath. And if you feel that you're breathing a little too fast, you can slow down. And if you feel that you're too slow and you are feeling short of breath, you can breathe slightly faster. And it might take time to find that mid-range of breathing. You're breathing in a certain way that you can be with your breath and be intimate with your breath. Notice how this is a very simple technique of slowing down your breathing. Can also get complex. It can be a very large technique in itself of slowing down. And as you're slowing down, notice the amount of space you begin to notice about your breath or about awareness. One more cycle. Then let's bring your palms in prayer position in front of your torso. Chant 3 cycles of Om, and we take the Shanti mantra. Let's breathe in. Asato ma sadhamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityo ma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We bow down to the divine light seated within all of us. Permitting that light to shine through our practice and continue out of the mat as we transact. Rest your hands down and humbly raise your head up. Keep your mind in your heart and open your eyes. Let's come to a standing position. Planning at times is favorable, but not holding on to the plan for life may not be a good idea. So when I mean I plan, there could be possibilities of a change of plan, something I learned in India, plan B and plan C. Always be there in your pocket. So anyways, I plan to do this long sequence of embracing all movement directions, the sagittal, the transverse, the coronal. So it's going to be a meditative vinyasa, a nice long, nice, I'm calling it nice, I'm just, yeah. preordaining it to be nice. So it's going to be a long vinyasa from the beginning to the end, where we're going to look at different directions and possibly meeting some vinyasas that we've already practiced before, right? So keeping all that aside, let's meet our body today. Let's come to a standing position and fold a blanket, or you have a knee pad for your knees. So let's come to the top front of your mat. And notice how I'm very mindfully shifting the weight of the body from one side of my body to the other side of my body. That's a very gentle introduction to the coronal plane. And as I do that, I'm going to raise my arms out to the sides. That's your horizontal line. And it doesn't have to be stiff. Keep it soft and keep it tender. From side to side. And then let's bring the arms down. Let's raise the arms up. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Breathe out. Let's breathe as you bring your arms down. Continue. One more cycle. Slowing down. A main ingredient of the practice. And also being aware of how you slow down and the result of slowing down. The ragdoll, the rounding the back to the front. Breathe. And need not be a static. Don't tighten your body or don't freeze your body. And as you ragdoll, flex the spine to the front, notice there might be a little shift of the weight to the front of the feet or maybe even to the back of your feet. But try not to hold on to the body. Now connect the pubis to the navel, unroll the spine to come up. Breathe. Open your eyes, the dynamic pendulum, raise your arms up. One more cycle. And lift your shoulders up to the ears, bring your arms down. Into your ragdoll. Now unroll the spine to come out of ragdoll. Open your eyes. If they're closed, the dynamic pendulum. One more cycle. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears, right? Now from here, keeping your shoulders lifted, I'm going to turn facing you. Take your right hand. This is my right hand, and I hold my left wrist, and I raise my left arm up towards the ceiling, and notice all that length that comes through the left shoulder, possibly the left side of the hips. And then we side bend. So it is your right arm assisting you to move into a side bend. Stay there and breathe into the left side of your lungs. And from there, notice you're holding your left wrist. Now literally drop the right arm. Allow the right arm just to hang from the right shoulder. And then slowly move your hips to the left and back to the center. Move to the left and back to the center. So all those little informations that may rise into your body, give importance to that little sensations. So it's not only about the larger aspect, but it's also about the minute details, the minute sensations. One more cycle. Bring the hips back over the heels. Let's raise the left arm up towards the right arm and come back to the center. Notice how the left side begins to soften. Take your left arm, hold the right wrist, lift up. And side bend to the left side. And breathe into the right side of the lung. And now literally drop the left arm. Let's move your hips to the right and back to the center. Now, what I mean by the center, not a predetermined place. The center can always change. A center of a cell, right? The cell is changing form. An amoeba changes form. The periphery is always changing. So the center is not a predetermined space. Cycle. Then raise your left arm and we come up back to the center. Lift the shoulders up towards your ears, the dynamic pendulum. One more cycle. And from there, let's raise your heels up, shoulders to the ears, and breathe out. We come down into your chair pose, from the chair to Malasana. Raise your arms up. Disconnect your palms. Bring your hands down in front of your feet. Shift the weight of your body into your palms mindfully. Feel the weight in your hands. And from there, use your hands to push and lift your hips up. Let's workshop this. Shift the weight of the body back into your hands, class. Bend your knees. We come back to the floating malasana. Let's do this again. Shift the weight into your hands. Feel the heaviness in your hands and use your hands to lift your buttocks up. Can we do that once again, class? Shift the weight into your arms. Come down. Back into your arms. And lift up. Now I'm going to externally rotate my arms away from the midline. I'm suggesting my arms to hang from my shoulders, like how my t-shirt is hanging from my body. Now, I imagine my head like a balloon filled with water. Can you imagine that bloppiness? Floppy, floppy. So I'm going to bend and extend my knees, and I allow my head to visualize that balloon filled with water. Waking up my body to its own intelligence. One more cycle. From there, I flex my knees. I shift the weight of the body into my hands, and let's step back into downward facing dog. And in downward facing dog, I'd like to invite you to move your hips from side to side like a dog wagging its tail. Only that at times our dogs are quite excited when they wag the tails. It's more gentle, a gentle wag of your hips from side to side. From there, raise your heels up, high plank, shoulders over your wrist, bring the knees down into child pose. Release the back of your head down. Again, you can imagine the balloon. Breathe. Press your shin bones. Let's come up into the cat. Your head is the water balloon. Raise your sitting bones up, spinal extension. The galloping cow, back into child pose. So the wave-like movement. Breathe. Keeping the epicenter of the movement, your hips. The source of the movement coming from the hips into the spine. One more cycle. Then the next attempt, let's stay in the cat pose. From the cat pose, if you're there, high plank to downward dog. Yeah. Imagine your head is like a water balloon. Yeah. So that's bloppiness, a bounciness.
Now raise your heels up, double bend your knees and straighten. Now when you double bend your knees, notice that if you release the head, you're visualizing that water balloon, you might feel some amount of bounciness in your head. So you're not stressing or tightening your shoulders or your neck. Rather, you're allowing your neck to hang from the entire length of the spine down to the gravity. One more cycle. And we step your legs as wide as your mat. Externally rotate the arms, suggesting the arms to hang from the shoulder. Breathe. Unroll the spine to come up. Open your eyes, class. Let's go into some balancing mode. Raise your arms up. Pendulum. Allow my neck to move from side to side, up and down slightly. And I plan to shift the weight of the body into my left leg, raise my right leg up. Some rounding. Imagine you're going to tie your shoelace when your right leg is lifted. So imagine you're tying your shoelace. So you can extend your arms towards your feet, rounding your back. And then imagine your entire body is like in a water balloon. So there's some amount of bounciness there. And then from there, you raise your arms, bring the feet down, take your arms back from that flexion, go into a nice extension. And pendulum. There's something sweet about flexion, the relationship of flexion and extension. Very old friends from the embryonic stage, right? Now let's shift the weight of the body into the right leg. Raise the left leg up, tying your shoelace, look down, and this little bounce like a water balloon. Slowing down is a good idea. And bring the legs down, raise your arms up. Hollow your back just a little bit. A pinch of salt. And pendulum. One more cycle. Let's go into the bounce of shifting the weight into the left leg around your back. Little bounce, the water balloon. Now, take your right leg back, look down, and still keep that bounciness. Keep that bounciness. Try not to predetermine where you want to go, but see the possibility of going anywhere. So you can move from side to side. You might even fall, or you might even bring your legs down. That's fine. Just be aware of your movement. Bring your right leg down. Raise your arms up, spinal extension. Pendulum. Shift the weight to the right leg. Raise your left leg up. Tighten your shoelace. Look back. Take your left leg back. Bounciness. And possibly waving your body from side to side in any possible way. Notice if you lose your balance, you pick yourself up. And then bring the left leg down. Raise your shoulders up to your ears or hollow back. And bring your arms down. No pendulums. Breathe. The ragdoll, rounding your back. Now try not to go all the way down. Shoulders in line with the shoulders, fairly. Fairly meaning approximately. Bend your knees, knee bent, ragdoll. The zombie version. And then shift the weight to the left leg. Raise your right leg up. Cross your arms in front of you as if you're holding the shoulders. Look back. Step the right leg back. And then take your arms up and turn to the right side and sit back to Skandasana. A transition. I am stylizing this movement a lot because of my previous impression with all the body movements that I have. You move the way you move, right? And then from that, shift the weight of the body forward, turning the back leg in, cross the arms in front, round your back. Bring the right leg down, drop the arms. Straighten the legs back to the ragdoll. Bent knee version of the ragdoll. Shift the weight to the right leg. Raise the left leg up. Cross your arms in front. So you are making like a soft ball of energy within your core center, navel center. Step the left leg back and then shift the weight of the body back into the left leg and sit into your Skandasana, preferably looking down. Feel the weight of the body into the left leg and then shift the weight of the body forward. Come back into this ball of energy, which is balancing on one leg. And then bring the left leg down, looking down. Drop your arms. Ragdoll. Connect the pubis to your navel. Unroll the spine. Breathe. Now with that template, let's try some variations, right? Breathe in, raise your arms up. Double bend the knees, pendulum. Shifting the weight of the body into the left leg. Tying your shoelace. The ball of energy, you can cross the arms in front. Yeah? Now this time, try to take your right leg to the left side. Take your right leg to the left side. So you had the right leg going back directly, the sagittal plane. We move slightly to this side. It's making space for me. I take my right leg to the left side and then I turn and sit to the side. How does that work for you? Feel or fill, meaning like a container filling up, or feel, either. Whichever comes first for you. Shift the weight of the body into the right leg. Come back. Use your arms. There's a little rotation here with the arms crossed. We're lifting. And raise your arms up by bringing the right leg down. Little spinal extension, hollow back. Pendulum. Shifting the weight to the right leg. Tying your shoelace. The energy ball, cross your arms and on your shoulders. Let that bounciness be there. Now taking the left leg across to the right side. Then we're going to turn the body to face back. And we're going to sit back. Feel or feel into the left leg. And then coming back. So there's a little rotation here. Try not to bypass that rotation. There's a little rotation. Rotate, and you might have to turn the right leg to the front as you come up. Hollow spine. And bring the arms down. Ragdoll. Connect the pubis to your navel and slowly unroll the spine to come up. It's really cold here, so got all my sinuses. Excuse me. We'll breathe. Now let's explore from that. So keeping that idea, the template of stepping back into the side, pendulum. Shifting the weight of your body into the left leg, raise the right leg up, tying your shoelace first, and then the energy ball, rounding your back. Take your right leg back, and we're going to sit back into your Skandasana. And as you sit back into your Skandasana, I would like you to watch me do this. We're going to turn to face back. Literally turn to face the back of the mat. And then raise your arms up into spinal extension. And then from there, take your arms forward by circumducting into spinal flexion. So I'm facing the back of the mat. Then take my arms back. Around we circumduct into a low lunge, looking back. And then we're going to turn to face the left side, back into Skandasana. Notice how you externally rotate the back leg. From there, shift the weight of the body. Stay low and into the energy ball. And bring your arms up, legs down, spinal extension. And arms down. Let's who breathe all of that. Because that could be slightly complex in terms of direction. But don't think about it too much, because it's not about the movement. And possibly most of you are teachers. You could be trying to remember it. And remembering something comes in time by repeating. So try not to get it in the first shot, on the first attempt. Allow it to embody, to happen in time. Let's start with the pendulum. One more cycle. And then we shift the weight of the body into the right leg, tying your shoelace, round your back, the energy ball. Step back Skandasana. Externally rotating the back leg. Now lift the left heel up and then maybe turn further to face back. So that externally rotated right leg now would internally rotate. Use your hands. Raise the arms up. So from a spinal flexion into spinal extension. Hollow back. From that, we circumduct the arms. We go into spinal flexion. Breathe into the back of your body. Raise your arms, come back. We circumduct the arms, which I generally call a counter circumduction. Tuck your back leg toe, which is your right toe. Lift up back into Skandasana. Use your hands if you require on the floor. From there, shift from the back to the front, the energy ball, which is the balloon. Bouncy, bouncy, shoelace, arms up, spinal extension, palms down. Breathe. Let's try that once again, class. Yeah? With all the curiosity, allowing things to happen in itself. Raise your arms up, pendulum. Shift the weight to the left leg. Raise the right leg. Shoelace to the energy ball, balloon. Right leg back. Shift into the back. From that, place your hands to the back of your mat. Turn to face the back of the mat. Swing your arms mindfully into a low lunge. And then take your hips back. Counter circumduct into a forward flexion. Move your hips forward. We come back into a spinal extension, which is also a hip extension. We tuck the back leg toes, lift up. We turn to the side. Skandasana. Stay low. Shift the weight of the body from the back to the front. The energy ball, shoelace, spinal extension as you rise and relax. Notice the mind space. The calming of the mind so that it's not choppy. We're not consumed by the thoughts, rather we become the witness of the thoughts. Pendulum. I think it would be the right side balance. Shoelace. Energy ball. Step the left leg back. Your arms back. Sit. Use your hands to turn the back leg in. We face the back. Swing your arms to the front and up. Spinal extension, hip extension. Press the left heel. Shift the hips back. Circumduct the arms into spinal flexion. Stay there. Breathe. Continue. Raise your arms up. Counter circumduct. Spinal extension. From that, tuck your back leg toes. Lift Skandasana to the side. Stay low as if you're sweeping the floor space to the front. Shift into the energy ball. And cross your arms just to bring everything in. So the pectorals slightly contract. And then into standing spinal extension, starfish. Breathe. Continue with the side version. And I'm going to be slightly, I'm going to turn to face forward because I have no space here. I might just go into my heater. Not a good idea. So, pendulum. Lift, right leg up. Shoelace to the balloon. Take the right leg across to the left side. So there's a little rotation. Let's not bypass that rotation. So you're looking to the front. The right leg is back. And we're going to turn and sit to the right side. And from here, like what we do in Ushas, if you remember the Ushas sequence, if you don't, that's fine. Bring your buttocks down, turn to the left side into a rotation. And then connect the right elbow on the right knee up towards each other, looking to thee. Yeah. And now rotate back again by bringing the right leg down and the right arm down. Might not be able to see me hiding behind. Let's do that again. Bend the right elbow and right knee. Connect like you were doing Marichi and rotate. One more. Lift. This time, if you sort of know where your psoas is on the right side, contract it and then cross the right leg over the left. So you're doing that. You cross the right leg over the left and then you turn to face now the right side. Bring the right knee down. You come into a low lunge. From there, circumduct the arms. And we go into flexion. From there back into an extension. Bring your hands down by the side on the left side. Tuck your left toes raised. Bring your left hip down. So you're going to have this little length through the left side. You turn to the opposite side. Come back to Skandasana. Would you like to go back from Skandasana? Let's go back to this cross-leg Marichi. Lift and turn. Notice how I pivot on the heel. Take my legs back and go into a low Vira and a humble Vira. Sort of a Pashvotanasana on the floor. Coming back into Virasana, which is the low Virasana. Bring the hands down by the side. Tuck your back leg toes. Turn. Pick up the legs. Lift back into Skandasana. From there, remember, we're going to face to the front. So I'm moving quite a bit. Feel that's going to be an exciting year for me. And then I'm turning to the front. So there's this little rotation. Let's go back. Where were we? Skandasana. We load into the right leg. Stay low and then turn. So I'm pivoting on my heels. From there, I lift into the energy ball. Shoelace. And extension. Arms down. Breathe. Notice if the surface of your mind is slightly quieter than before. And allow the information to come from your body into the mind. It's ready for the pendulum. Shift the body weight into the right leg. Lift up. Shoelace. Cross the arms. Your energy ball. Take the left leg to the right side. Turn to the back. And sit. Yeah. From there, bring your buttocks down. And we go into a rotation. So this left knee comes down. Right leg extends. You turn. Moving the left arm away from the left knee. Now bend the left elbow to the left knee. Connect. Disconnect. And rotate. Connect. Disconnect. And rotate. One more. Connect. Stay. This time, see if you can cross the left leg over the right knee. So you have a little sickle on the side, a crescent on the side, a crescent moon kind of feeling on the right side, hanging like a hammock, hanging on the side. From there, use your hands, turn, facing the left side, bring the right knee down, spinal extension. Spinal flexion. Continue. One more spinal extension. And flexion. Go back to spinal extension. Bring your hands down. Bring the right hip down. Turn to the front. We're going to pick the left leg up. Place it behind you and turn. Use your hands to give you a little launch pad, a little push into Skandasana. Shall we do that again? From Skandasana into crossing the leg. Come back. The low Vira one. You can go up into a high Vira one, but because it's an evening class, I'm avoiding that excitement of Vira one. Flexion to extension. Bring your arms down. Bring the right hip down. Pick the left leg up to the back of your mat. Turn. Skandasana. Right? And from there, we're going to come back to the front. Remember this rotation. We come back. I'm on a carpet also. Rotation, let's go back. Skandasana. Lift into a rotation and let your heel, can you pivot on the right heel? Lift, come back into the energy ball, shoelace. Open your legs and arms away from each other. And relax. Breathe. Ragdoll. Breathe into your back line. Bend your knees, class. Bring your hands down. Step back into your inverted V, which is your downward facing dog. And again, visualize your head like a water balloon hanging from your spine. Your elbows can be fairly tight, but your shoulders should have some amount of bounciness. So don't tighten your shoulders. And the shoulders bounce. Raise your heels up, high plank to child's pose. The reoccurring pattern, cat to the galloping cow. One more cycle. Let's stay in child's pose. The next attempt. Allow your arms to sink into the floor. Allow your head to sink into the floor. Now mindfully walk your hands back, resisting the floor to raise your torso up. And let's go into recovery patterns and moving my knee pads to the side. Not that I used it so much though. So I'm going to turn all of this the other way around. You could reduce the amount of light you have in your room. Yeah, it's a good idea. Let me see if that works. If I do that, you still see me. Yes, you possibly can still see me. So we're going to lie on your back. So a few cycles of your windshield wipers, your arms out in line with the shoulders to the sides. Your feet as wide as the mat. Your toes are turned out to the side slightly. Before you move into the windshield wiper, feel or notice how does your body feel to lie on your back after fairly standing up for about an hour. And then let's begin to move your knees from side to side. And as you move your knees to one side, you could possibly turn your head to the opposite side. Now let's just stay on one side with your knees. Breathe out. And if you notice you're holding any part of your body, can you permit your body to rest and follow the gravitational force coming from the earth? Or noticing how the earth is inviting you to rest. Come back to the center and move to the opposite side. Breathe out as a signal to let your body follow the gravitational force, the invitation from the earth. And also notice if your mind is following in that direction. Mindfully coming back to the center. Who breathe. Come in terms to where the body is. And slowly extend one leg at a time away from your hips. Or if you feel that you need a bolster underneath your knees, feel free to take one. Your eyes closed. And if your body is signaling you to breathe in a particular way, or if you know that your mind requires a few cycles of the who breath to settle into the path of the body, to the floor, please take a few cycles of who breaths. Gently move your toes and fingers. Bring your feet together. Stretch your legs and arms away from each other. Bend your knees. Let's roll to your preferred side. Come to a seated position. And literally be seated, thinking of sitting. Let's just be with ourselves for just 2 minutes. Just be there. Bring your palms in prayer position. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you for joining this class. Wishing you all a blessed year ahead, and see you all in the next class. Bye.